they just don't like you because of your situation. So you're kind of a non-entity to them. You're not personalized to them. So it's really easy for them to treat you as less than. Um, Hi, my name is Justin Prince. This is my mother, Donna Retchless, and my father, Randy Retchless. And yeah, cut. One thing that was consistent, there's a phrase that comes up within the first 3 to 5 minutes of talking with anybody new. They'll be starting to tell a story. They'll get to a certain point and they'll be like, long story short. It's the only consistent thing across every homeless group that I ever encountered. And I found that really curious and trying to figure out what the motivation was behind that. And I think, I mean, at least for me, part of it is I realized a lot of people aren't listening anyway. And a lot of people, it's like they've got a worse story or a better story or what, it's a different story, but everybody's got their own shit to deal with and have been working through it. And it doesn't matter. I mean, the stories just don't matter. It's all just, yeah, life kind of kicked me in the teeth and there you go. Yeah, actually, I did have a moment of hope. The night that I happened to be walking by 415, a friend of mine that I'd met earlier that night was telling me about that place and roughly where it was and what they were kind of trying to do there versus a lot of the other shelters. It was like, well, that's something to at least look into. And so I was walking back to where I was camping and just happened to, by complete fluke, walk past the fence. And it clicked that, oh, this is what she was talking about. And so I had to figure out, where the gate was. And so I went over and rang the doorbell and ended up speaking with one of the graveyard shift staff members. And he was actually really, really amazingly helpful. After I got accepted in and things like that, he ended up being one of the people that I connected with probably the most out there. Yeah, so that was my first exposure to outsiders in on a personal level like that, and it actually worked out really well. Everybody that worked there and works within that organization has been in our situation. It makes it exceptionally different as opposed to talking to somebody who has like strictly like a university education outlook on it or something like that. If they haven't had those shared experiences of being out and being cold and being wet and not having, there's no door that is open to you. It's like if you haven't felt that kind of despair at some point in your life, you cannot relate to someone else who is going through that, and they're going to be able to tell and you're going to be able to tell, and it's going to cause, I found for myself, it would have caused me to have held back or, finesse it to work out the way that I needed it to or wanted it to, because, well, obviously this person doesn't know me. They don't know anything about my situation. So there's no obligation to play by whatever the rules are. Fortunately, being there, that wasn't the case at all. I found that a lot of the people that I connected with that were residents there, we all felt the same way. We had a lot of conversations about that kind of stuff, and kind of finding a sense of community within that. That was helpful. Let's see what life looks like today. Today looks pretty good. I don't know. I think I still feel kind of like I'm flailing a lot. I don't really feel like I've connected back with the person that I want to be or who I was or anything like that. But I can definitely tell that over the course of the last year and being at the Safe Stay and it helps. It helped a lot to remake a lot of those connections. I do a lot of woodwork and sculpture and things like that. As far as working on pieces of wood, I prefer to be drawn to pieces that beavers have already worked on and have either blown out from their dams or just pieces that they've left behind. It's like, it's just got the split tail, it's got a dorsal fin, or any way you turn it, it looks like some sort of animal to me. So it just kind of adds a relatable connection for me for some reason, having that visible workings of something not on this, and they figured it out. And it's like I've got a piece over here that's about 11 feet long, and it's got 5 different notches cut in it, and that was a beaver dragged that thing around. It's stunning to me.
In fact, he's making me a cane because he thinks I walk funny.
It's been interesting to get back into that kind of a mindset where I've got a pretty positive outlook overall, because I get to have that kind of reinforcement of this is something I feel is important. I can take care of it. It gets done. Yeah, it's a nice little soothing loop. I very rarely ever was able to just relax, sit and relax. That's a very rare moment that you can find. It doesn't matter where you're at or what kind of a scenario you're in. Somebody who's got whatever issues they've got, those don't go away. Just because you're in a safe spot doesn't mean you're going to continue to make safe choices. If you have someone in your family or your life who has kind of dropped out and you're not necessarily hearing about their problems or whatever, be persistent about trying to reach out to people, because what a lot of people that don't have any homeless experience in their own lives is they don't understand how hard it is for someone in that situation to reach out. It's not a behavior that's rewarded very frequently by someone experiencing homelessness, because we're used to being told no, or being told there's not anymore, or there's not this or that or the other, you can't be here, you need to go. It's always elsewhere, and being put off and being pushed away, basically.
Well, we felt hopeless too, because you have somebody that won't reach back. And so my wife, she was incredible, always just trying to find out what he's doing, where he's at, is he safe, And let me tell you what, more times than anybody could know, this girl went to bed crying because she didn't know if her son was alive, and why wasn't he reaching out? We as the public simply can't elicit to that. We can't understand that. We're under the mindset is that you can do something and get out of where you're at. They can't if they've been beat down so bad that they have nothing left.
And one thing I showed Justin one day was, he said to me, well, I didn't think you wanted to connect. I felt, alone. I showed him my phone, and there's like 20 different phone numbers and a date next to each one. I said, Justin, I tried always to connect with you as best I could. And he was surprised by that, because he didn't realize that there is somebody reaching out. And like he was saying too, perhaps if there's someone that that might be all they need, is that you send them a text once in a while. Let them know that you know who they are. So we're thankful for the programs that have been allowed this day to come, where I could call Justin this morning and say, and he answered, and I can say, Justin, I'm at your door. And he goes, oh, okay. And it was like,
it's like heaven on earth.
To even know that I can know where he's at, and that he's safe and okay. And we are so thankful. Often you want to just jump in there and save somebody. And, that's basically who I've always been, okay, come home, do this, we'll fix it, we'll make it happen. But he has to stand up on his own and say, I'm going to do this. This will be my home. We are so thankful for how things have come to pass, that he's able to move his things and open the boxes again and say, this is my life. I'm going to hold on to what I can.
The truth is that most people don't realize is that we are so close to being homeless, those who are prospering now. And I look at that sometimes, I'm going, whoa, that's true. You cross the line, thin line.
Can happen.